All right, time now for the Diamond District, everyone. A big chunk of the new health care law, $10 billion to be exact, has been allotted to hire over 16,000 new auditors over at our friendly Internal Revenue Service. We are all for creating jobs here on Happy Hour. You know I'm always talking about that here in the Diamond District. But do we really need to give the IRS more of our hard-earned money so they can have even more power over us? Well, let's ask Alan Olsen. He is a managing partner over at CPA firm Greenstein, Rogoff, Olsen and Company out in Los Angeles. Alan, thanks so much for joining us in the Diamond District on Happy Hour. Boy, we're a little uncomfortable about giving the IRS yet more power. Now they have the power to enforce them to make sure that Cody has health insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. When is giving the IRS $10 billion to hire 16,000 more auditors in anyone's best interest? Right now, I think we're going to be looking at more involvement with the IRS in every individual's personal life under this new tax act.
But Alan, they didn't choose to take on this role. I mean, the IRS is constantly guilty by association. Congress writes these rules. They hand them over to the IRS to implement, and the IRS throws their hands up in the air and they say, dear God, we don't even know how to do this. They're constantly behind the eight ball because Congress is changing the rules every third day. So it's very hard to blame the IRS for this.
Yeah, that's right. It's not really their fault, but yet they're handed the bag to enforce what the tax laws are. In fact, today, even the tax gap, that is the amount that the IRS was expected to collect versus what they actually collect is well behind the eight ball. And so they've been forced into a position where they need to be a little bit more aggressive in collection techniques by Congress by going out and hiring additional auditors, additional collection officers, and using any tactic they can to try and narrow that tax gap.
You know, but I'll take the other side of this. Look, the only thing I want in this country is for everybody to be playing by the same rules I'm playing by. I have an accountant that I pay to make sure that I follow the rules every year, and I want anybody who doesn't do that prosecuted, including little Timmy Geithner when he doesn't pay his taxes. Yeah. So I'm okay. Look, I want these laws enforced. If the IRS needs another 16,000 employees and $10 billion, then that's actually something I think we should spend.
Well, I don't know about that. IRS Commissioner Doug Shulman right now and Timothy Geithner seem right now content in squeezing the dollars out of the little guy, the taxpayers, by the current policies that they're imposing. It's kind of like, you know, a bully going on the playground taking the lunch money away from the little guy.
Well, Alan, who owes most of this money? You talk about that huge gap that you know, the government, in essence, us, the taxpayers, are owed. Who owes that more? Is it individual taxpayers who haven't fessed up, or are these big corporations, you know, trying to get through loopholes? Who owes that money?
You know, I think that's a good question. Who owes the money? Maybe they're not really sure, and maybe they're out there reaching for the answer themselves. I mean, it could be on their part just an accounting error, what they thought they needed to get versus what they actually collected. Right now, we're in an economy that's suffering extremely, and you know, everyone out there is hurting. The answer isn't, though, to go out and to start squeezing those individuals that are already hurting greatly to try and collect more out of something that they don't have the ability to pay. They may or may not owe it.
And the problem is it will be a paperwork nightmare administratively for the individual as well as the businesses, small businesses in particular. This is going to end up costing us more as well as the government at the end of the day. So net-net at the end, I'm not sure we get much out of it.
I agree. I agree with that totally.
Alan, I want laws enforced. That's what we get out of it, not anarchy. What do you guys want? Anarchy? We'll just enforce the laws sometimes?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You don't agree with the law, but you do have to abide by it.
That's what the IRS is charged with doing.
Society.
Let them do their job. Alan, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Alan.
Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.